Just as there were its markers shed, his blood, the sun shed its first rays, and Ebro lay beneath high Libra, and the ninth hour rays were scorching Ganges waves. So here the sun stood at the point of day's departure, when God's angel, happy, showed himself to us.
Beato mundo corde. Holy souls, you may not pass until you have been stung with this fire. Do not be deaf to this song. Beato mundo corde.
When I heard Nim say this, I became like one who has been laid within the grave. I joined my hands and stretched them out to fend the flames, watching the fire, imagining clearly the human bodies I had once seen burning.
My son, remember, even though there is suffering here, there is no death. Remember, if I guided you to safety even upon the back of Grayon, what now shall I do? Be sure, even if you were to spend 1,000 years in this fire, not one hair on your head would be burned. And if you think I'm lying, try your hands out. Put your hands close to the fire. By now, put down your every fear and turn towards the fire, confident.
When he saw me still halting obstinate, he said,
This wall stands between you and Beatrice.
as, at the name of Thisbis Pyramus about to die, opened his eyes and saw her. When the mulberry became blood red, so in my stubbornness had softened, I, hearing the name that's always flowing within my mind, turned to my knowing guide.
And you would have us stay along this side? Statius, go behind.
No sooner was I in that fire that I had thrown myself in molten glass to find coolness, because those flames were so intense.
I seem to see her eyes.
A voice that sang beyond us was our guide, and we, attentive to that voice, emerged just at that point where it began to climb. Venite benedici patris mei. It sang within a light that overcame me. I could not look at such intensity. Venite benedictis patris mei. The sun departs. The evening comes. Don't stay your steps, but hurry on before the west grows dark. Within the rock and its direction was such that in front of me, my body blocked the rays of sun already low behind us. And we had only tried a few steps when land my sages sensed the sun had set, because the shadow I had cast was spent, before one color came to occupy that sky in all of its immensity, and night was free to summon all its darkness. Each of us made one of those stairs his bed. The nature of the mountain had so weakened our power and desire to climb ahead. Like goats that, when they grazed, were swift and lameless along the mountain peaks, but now are seated and rest and ruminate while the sun blazes. Untroubled in the shadows, silently watched over the herdsman as he leans upon his staff and oversees their peace. Or like the herdsman in the open fields, spending the night before besides his quiet flock, watching to see that no beast drives them off. Such were all three of us at that point. They were like the herdsman, I was like the goats. Upon each of us, high rock walls rose. From there one saw but little of the sky, but in that little I could see the stars, brighter and larger than they usually are. But while I watched the stars in revere, sleep overcame me, sleep which often sees before it happens what is yet to be. It was the hour, I think, when Cytherea, who always seems aflame with fire love, first shines the mountains from the east. That in my dream I seemed to see a woman, both young and fair. Along a plain she gathered flowers, and even as she sang, she said,
Whoever asks my name knows that I am Mia. And I apply my lovely hands to fashion a garland of this mirror, I adorn myself. Where's my sister Rachel? Never deserts her mirror. There she sits all day. She longs to see her fair eyes gazing as I to see my hands adorning long. She is content with seeing I with labor.
Now, with the reflected lights that glowed so to me, the shadows fled upon all sides. My sleep fled with them, and at this I woke and saw that the great teachers had already risen. When all the staircase lay beneath us, and we'd reached the highest step, then Virgil set his eyes insistently on me and said,
My son, you have seen the temporary fire and eternal fire. You have seen places which by power cannot reach. I brought you this far through intellect and art. From now on, let pleasure be your guide. You've passed the steep and narrow paths. Look at the sun that shines upon your brow. Look at the flowers, the bushes, the shrubs, born here spontaneously of the earth. Among them you can walk until the coming of the glad and lovely eyes. Those eyes, weeping, sent me to your side. Await no further word or sign from me. Your will is free, erect, and whole. To act against that will would be to err. Therefore, I crown and miter you over yourself.